understand and appreciate what's about to happen.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
You've said that 154 is a poppin' division. It certainly is. Deep, really 1 to 15. If you could move up next year and challenge anybody, who would it be?
Anybody at 154, anybody with a name. You know, like I said, I want to fight the top guys, the best guys.
Is Boots going to choose or opt to take fights that Riyadh season don't want to pay for?
It's called hustling backwards.
Whether that's Stanionis, who, let's face it, has sat around for a couple of years not doing anything, showing no ambition to unify or fight anyone of note. One of the many inactive PBC fights, then all of a sudden, Boots doesn't look too good against Shakur, and the PBC phone up Eddie Hearn saying they want to make the unification. They'll do a step-aside deal with Kabayel. Well, even that lasted 20 seconds of a sugar rush before Eddie was telling us that fight's not going to happen, and Stanionis is doing a deal with the Matchroom promoted Kabayel. Eddie's also making an offer to Barrios to fight the Matchroom promoted Conor Ben. I'm not sure about the Ben and Barrios fight, and I think Barrios will want a whole load of money to fight Boots, and I'm not sure if Eddie's prepared to pay that. But if Boots wants the unification, Eddie might have to overpay one of these guys, whether it's Brian Norman, Barrios, he might have to overpay them on Stanionis. $8 million payday for the Ortiz fight. General Entertainment Authority were going to absorb the expense. Boots dropped the ball. And now, Eddie's going to have to go to the zone and say, look, we've got to pay one of these 147 pounders if Boots isn't moving up. Or what's the point? What's the point? And we all saw how trying to make a Brian Norman fight went. And obviously, if the Saudis ain't willing to pay for any of these fights, the highest payday you can get off the rip is against Virgil Ortiz.
De La Hoya's come out on social media today and suggested a fight between Jaron and Virgil Ortiz Jr. in a Matchroom versus Golden Boy 5 versus 5 event. A fight that you'd be interested in for 154?
They already asked about that and they said they turned it down.
Golden Boy turned it down?
Well, I don't know if it was Golden Boy, but they said they turned it down. We'll fight him in a heartbeat.
And then, just for comedic value, I've got to add this. Eddie Hearn said Boots was left in a dilemma to make a decision on Thanksgiving Day. So what? The mac and cheese and turkey was such a priority over legacy fights and career highest paydays. Eddie needs to take a holiday. Yeah, because right now, I'm not looking too clever out there. I see somebody post on Twitter that Kell Brook was the IBF champion when he fought Gennady Golovkin. How comes Kell Brook, who has the same belt that Boots has now at welterweight, moved up to fight Gennady Golovkin and didn't get stripped? Didn't have to vacate his title. The facts are, Boots doesn't need to vacate that title to fight Virgil Ortiz, especially as he just fulfilled a mandatory obligation a matter of weeks ago.
Now you want to stay at 47? Look, you can stay at 47. All you got to do is talk to the sanctioning body. That's all you got to do, and tell them, hey, I want to actually go up to 54, and I want to fight Virgil. Can I maintain my belt at 147 pounds? And they're going to say, yeah, as long as you pay the sanctioning fee.
Right now, Boots and Eddie Hearn, they just got to ride out the storm of criticism. It is what it is. And when they do return to the ring, Eddie said that will be about April. The announcement of opponent better be either that unification they say they're swerving Virgil Ortiz for, or a name so good that all is forgiven. But that doesn't exist at 147 as far as I can see. Who's he going to fight? Manny Pacquiao? So who is Xander Zayas? 22 years of age. 20-0. 12 inside the distance. Top ranked fighter. 5'10", 74-inch reach. He likes to fight in the pocket. Good combination puncher. It's a good stylistic matchup for Virgil Ortiz. Zayas is a Puerto Rican based in Florida. He said when he was offered the fight, they gave him 1 hour to respond. He said yes in 1 minute. So he'll be Jerome Boots Ennis' replacement, February the 22nd. He'll put up a good fight, as long as he doesn't get caught early. And as long as it's not Israel Madrimov fighting Virgil Ortiz. Can't keep up with it. I can't keep editing every second.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
When I come on here, I did not come on here to bash Boots. I did not come on here to talk shit about Boots. I didn't come to bash Boots. I actually have a different opinion than everybody else. I don't think Boots ducked Virgil. I think that Eddie is playing games. I think based on my personal knowledge. Based on my personal knowledge of what I knew and what I started to see with some of the shit that Eddie was doing when we was negotiating, and I was bringing it out and I was screaming at the fucking top of my lungs, and of course, he capped, he lying. I'm like, and you remember me saying how all of a sudden we believe the white man? You remember me saying that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, how the fuck all of a sudden everybody just fucking side with the white man all of a sudden because he gets what the fuck you want to be for? It's Eddie, bro. The whole thing is Eddie, and it's still about the exact same thing.
I'm guessing in the last few months, Brian Norman Sr. has had to be explaining to his son, how did they fumble this bag when they were offered the unification with Boots? Career highest purse by a mile. So he's been doing a lot of interviews and he's been talking a lot of stuff about Boots. He said a lot of derogatory things about Boots. But now he's switching tact and taking the blame of Boots for fumbling the Virgil Ortiz bag and blaming Eddie Hearn. He's doing that to say, well, look, it was Eddie who messed up the fight between his son and Boots, and now it's Eddie messing up the fight between Boots and Virgil Ortiz. So now he's trying to play Eddie against Boots and Bozy. That's what he's trying to do, divide and conquer. Look, Eddie's destroying your career, although Boots was over the PBC, not really doing that much, was he, until he signed with Eddie Hearn. And then the white man, well, isn't Brian Norman signed to a white man? What, Bob Arum, less racist than Eddie Hearn? I don't know. The bottom line is, Virgil Ortiz, with his recent medical history, cannot fight at 147. Boots has been hinting at moving up to 154 for a while, and had an $8 million offer to fight Virgil Ortiz at 154. And Eddie Hearn said it himself. The decision, it's in Boots' hands. So, how it's Eddie's fault, I don't know. Must be some white man technology. Is that what you're doing, Eddie?
Yeah, I was like, how the fuck all of a sudden everybody just fucking side with the white man all of a sudden because he gets what the fuck you want to be for? It's Eddie, bro. The whole thing is Eddie, and it's still.
So Ben Shalom, Boxer XX, aims to build from ground up, not via marquee signings. He's planning to bring through more talent by adding to his stable, rather than signing established fighters in or around the world scene. Now, we go to the Tokyo Olympics, 2021, I believe. He picked up Lauren Price, Fraser Clark and Ben Whittaker, who were all projected to go over to Matchroom and DAZN, but we know Sky broke the budget to get them on the platform. But the returns haven't been what was expected. Now, with Lauren Price, we know women's boxing doesn't generate that kind of money, but Fraser Clark has suffered a pretty bad setback trying to get the British title in the rematch with Fabio Wardley, and Ben Whittaker has gone hiding in a bunker like it's World War III in Britain or something. I don't know what's going on with that after the Liam Cameron performance. Now, they're saying they've signed Sam Hickey, a Scottish middleweight prospect. Now, just out of curiosity, I've done a little digging. He's had one fight with Boxer. That was on the undercard of O'Hara Davis, Adam Azim. Points win. But as an amateur, and look, BoxRec don't always compile the full records, but the stats on BoxRec say 23 wins, 20 losses as an amateur, with 3 inside the distance. Perhaps he's a late bloomer. But it seems to me, Sky are not giving Ben Shalom that big budget to go sign up the top amateurs in Britain. You hear Eddie talking about Pat Brown all the time, and apparently a lot of people were after that signature, offering Pat Brown houses and all types of incentives. So he's not getting that money because they're not seeing the return on them expensive purchases they got from the Olympics 2021. And obviously there's speculation Sky might not retain his services. And it's funny, as I'm making this video and reading this article about Ben Shalom, who else came from that 2021 Olympics? Galal Yafai, who just after Saturday, having the standout win of his career, you'd have to say he's ahead of Fraser Clark and ahead of Ben Whittaker right now. Sometimes it comes in small packages.
Boxing. Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Floyd Schofield challenges Shakur Stevenson for the WBC 135-pound title. Yeah. Gonna be excited, build up all the smack talk. What the fuck am I, a kid? I need more. I need more than that. I don't want to hear crap about Schofield Sr. and his personal life. I saw enough. I saw the video. All I know is from that last performance I saw from that kid, he's lucky to be getting that fight. Lucky Cepeda is protected over there at GB Promotions. Unless Shakur has regressed something real bad, this kid would be lucky if he wins a round. Lucky if he wins a round. So out of the two lightweights Oscar's got in his stable, right, he's going to push out the less experienced one and the younger one. You're going to send him into the busy street to get hit by the oncoming traffic and protect Cepeda.
Why is that? Boxing beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
He's been through a hell of a lot. You know, he's been through a lot of media, you know, and I'm just pleased that he's got his license back and he's able to fight. He's never not been out of the gym, which has been a difficult thing. He's kept himself in great condition. The fight that obviously everybody wants to see is the Ben EUBANK, which was nearly made, but I believe will be made now. I believe that fight will go on, hopefully early next year.
Is Hearn really trying to put Conor Ben in there with Barrios? It's not as big as the EUBANK fight. EUBANK versus Lara in England? What does that do on a boxer card? I think they're being cautious until they get pen to paper from both EUBANK and Ben, and then they can announce it and then start promoting the fight. But I think Tony Sims gave it away. They're still trying to make Ben EUBANK before any other fight for either of them. And did I hear Tony Sims say that Conor's got his license back already? Or is he mistaken?
Boxing beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Now this is a good matchup. And I will concentrate more on the matchup. But I have to air this out first. The two duckers, Zhang and Kabayel, will fight on the Fury USYK undercard. That's good news. But now, they're just pulling world titles out of the sky, literally. Like, let's keep it real. Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois was an invented title fight, right? USYK gifted them a belt to fight for.
Hi everybody people, Anthony and Daniel, listen. I know IBF title important to you. Tell it my present to you on September 21. Guys.
And now, the two duckers who avoided Martin Bacoli in the IBF eliminator, did I hear right? They will be fighting for the WBC interim belt. How can they be fighting for the interim title when the full champion is fighting in the main event? The full title holder would have to be absent without leave, on sabbatical, or injured. But neither one of them is applicable here. Anyway, I've aired it out. Probably not a bad idea to scatter the belts around again, because I think the Saudis will commit to unifying them in the next year or two. I like the fight. I do like the fight. I don't think it needs extra trinkets added to it to make it more credible. But it's for the interim title, and they say if Joshua wants to fight the winner, then he'll be up next. Actually, this could be more popular amongst the hardcore fans than the main event, Zhang versus Kabayel. Because I don't think there was a big demand for a rematch with Fury and USYK. It was close, but I don't think there was a huge demand. And with the ability the Riyadh season project has had so far of pitting quality fighters together, people want to see new matchups. This is the social media internet era. People want things fast, attention deficit, and keeping people glued to the screens is something promoters and organisers have to be mindful of. Added to that, the infrequency of which world champions fight today, rematches are not always welcome. That's why a lot of people are not best pleased when they hear there's a rematch clause in a contract in certain fights. Fury and USYK are the best in the division, but stylistically and on current form, Kabayel and Zhang, I think theoretically has better chemistry. The likely outcome is a Kabayel points win or late stoppage. Throws too many punches for Zhang. Zhang can't improve his gas tank at this stage of his life. He can't. Obviously, he's got the skills to produce a stoppage, Zhang. He does. But at the same time, he's not going to like Kabayel's newfound body punching. He's not going to enjoy that at all. He's not going to enjoy the tempo either. Kabayel can now fight on the back foot and on the front foot. Yeah, I'm picking Kabayel.
Boxing beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
I know he's got no power. I took his best shots, 5 shots, couldn't drop me. I took his smiled.
5 shots couldn't drop me. I took it and smiled.
Yo, he's obviously channeling his inner Tupac. It's all good. Inspired by Tupac, and it's whatever works. If Tupac can inspire Tyson Fury to the win, it'd be a huge night for British boxing, wouldn't it? But one thing for sure, he took the 5 shots, but he didn't smile. There was no smiling. And as for USYK not being able to hurt him, well, somebody hurt him in the ring. Maybe it was Tupac.
Boxing beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Now, last week, the WBO ordered Jack Catterall to take on Arnold Barboza in a final eliminator for the WBO title held by Teofimo Lopez. But Jack Catterall has an almost certain direct shot against the winner of the IBF title fight this Saturday in Puerto Rico, where the champion, the Australian Liam Paro, takes on the American, the Brooklynite, Richardson Hitchens. And it's going to be an excellent fight. So before Jack commits to this Barboza fight, he's going to look at the landscape after the dust settles this Saturday with that IBF title fight. If I was Eddie Hearn, and I'm not Eddie Hearn, I would go after Barboza. Barboza is a winnable fight for Jack Catterall. And he can't sit around waiting for the winner of Hitchens and Liam Paro. I think he still needs to build his resume, and it would be good to have the option. He could go after Teo, or he could take his in-house shot at the IBF title. And look, obviously, it's high stakes, and you don't want to play around with your food. With a certain shot there for the IBF belt, you want to think about what you're doing. But in my opinion, there was something key in this interview on Boxing Scene that Jack Catterall said. He was talking about his last performance against Regis Prograis, and he said he did what he had to do. It wasn't his greatest performance. But what is Jack's greatest performance? The 2 Josh Taylor fights, I would argue he seemed to have the measure of Josh Taylor in both fights. The first one, he should have got the decision, but he did take his foot off the gas. Just like he did in the second one, where he did get the decision. The Jorge Linares fight, he had Jorge's measure and won clearly, but there was a feeling that Jack could have did more. And I believe it would be good for Jack to go into a world title fight having that standout career best performance, which I don't believe he's delivered yet.
Boxing beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
I'm back in the gym. That's the rumoured date, February, and I believe an offer's been sent over to Team Barboza. I think Eddie said it. After the last 2 fights, it's got to be a world title next, so the name's been teased of Barboza. But I want Lopez. I don't know if Lopez is in a position to fight or he's going to fight, but I want to win that world title 2025.
I spoke to Jamie and he said there is a bit of radio silence from Teofimo. And do you feel like they want that fight as much as you want to fight him right now?
I don't know where he stands. I know I've seen he's got a new trainer. I've seen again that he's called out Hearn and somebody else. They've heard nothing, so don't know what fights he's chasing, but he's obviously got the WBO title. That's the title we want to go on and win. So if you're not going to defend it, then I believe he should vacate the title. Let me and Barboza fight for it.
One of the issues Jack Catterall has, he sat around waiting for that Josh Taylor rematch. And now you ask yourself, with the anticlimactic outcome when Jack got the rematch, won the rematch. Now, you know, like, you're still having to go through eliminators, send offers to Barboza, waiting for Top Rank to get back to Eddie about what Teofimo's doing for the belt. Got to strike when the iron's hot.
Boxing beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Only a few will understand and appreciate what's about to happen. Boxing beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.